Alright, so I obviously haven't uploaded in a while, and let's talk about that real quick. So obviously, like many other children, I have gone back to school. I don't sound like a man yet, so clearly I am still in school. And yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much where I've been for this past, like, what, 2 months? Or not really 2 months yet, like a month and a half. So since I actually have an audience now, I thought I would bring you guys this update video since, I mean, even though you're only like 10 people, my audience is only like 10 people, y'all still subscribe to me, so I don't really want to let y'all down, and because, you know, you subscribe for a reason, you subscribe for content, and I don't want to deprive you of that, even if I'm probably like your least cared about YouTuber. I mean, I'm definitely not anybody's favorite yet, I know that for a fact. But a new video is coming soon. I just continued recording it today, so I think it'll come out about mid-October, maybe, I don't know. But I really hope it comes out before the end of this month. But to appease y'all for now, I just want to take this video to not only update you guys, but to also just talk about stuff that I have thought about and wanted to put in a video, but the video that I was going to put it in wouldn't be that long, so might as well put it all into one video. So the first thing I want to talk about is music. I know y'all have heard the past few really good albums that have come out in these in this last month and a half, so I really want to talk about them. Or let's just say I want to talk about 3, and the first 2 are obviously CLB and Donda. Alright, so let's just start this opinion off raw. These 2 albums I think are pretty equal, and I think are pretty average. Now, I know some people want to burn me already because I said that about both Drake and Kanye, but really, these 2 albums are pretty average. They're nothing special at all. In fact, I only enjoyed like 2 songs off of Donda, and I enjoy 1 and 2 half songs off of CLB, which equals 2, yeah. But before we even get into the music, we gotta talk about these album covers because, Jesus Christ, what did y'all do here? I gotta get on Kanye's freaking Donda album cover first, because that is definitely the worst out of the 2. Literally, a black screen. That is it. Maybe this black screen is supposed to represent something about Donda's death or something. I don't really care. Just put something on the freaking screen. Even this little fan painting, I don't know if it's from a fan or if it's officially from somebody, but even this little freaking trashy red painting, I really don't like abstract art. It would be way better than just a black screen. Like, it's so lazy. You could have put anything on that bitch, and you just decided to put nothing there. Like, what happened to the days where there was iconic album covers like Graduation, Dark Twisted Fantasy, and Astroworld? And it's like, hold on, actually, I haven't even talked about the freaking CLB album cover. Let me get on you real quick. Don't walk away from this. I mean, at least Drake put something on his album cover, but this is still not cutting it, bro. I mean, this album is pretty average, and I guess the album cover fits because it's pretty basic and boring, but like 12 emojis? Come on, bro, you could have done way better than this. Like, I already don't care how many children Drake has, but at least present that number in like a nice way for me to look at. And I fucking see through you. It's not 12. It's probably like fucking 4 times that amount. But as I said before, this album is pretty average and boring. I only liked In Too Deep, Champagne Poetry, and Way Too Sexy. And remember when I said I only liked 1 and 2 halves of the songs on this album? Well, yeah, I only like half of Champagne Poetry and half of In Too Deep. And I like the entire track of Way Too Sexy. But as time goes on and as I listen to it more, it gets cornier and cornier, and it's gonna eventually fall out of my playlist. Eventually. And on Donda, I only liked Jonah and Hurricane. And I didn't even like them for the Kanye parts. I only liked them for the vocals from The Weeknd, and I forgot who was the freaking vocals on Jonah, but whatever, he did a freaking good job. And speaking of both Kanye and Drake, I'm getting tired of this freaking beef, bro. Like, it's getting so boring. These dudes need to just settle it out face to face. I'm tired of all this sneak dissing and all that bullcrap. It was kind of cool at first to see Drake sneak dissing Kanye. It was kind of like a Cold War type thing, but it's just so boring now, and it's not like the actual Cold War where the world could just blow up at any second. So yeah, the album covers are trash, the albums themselves are corny, and the album creators themselves are becoming cornier and cornier as time goes on. So that's just the ultimate amount of cruddiness right there. The second topic I want to talk about is social interaction, something I know not of, but it's okay because I have a group of 10 people besides myself to talk about it with. Okay, not really social interaction, but mostly just eye contact. You know, we've all been inside for the past year and a half. We haven't been outside with other people, or at least I haven't, because I've spent most of my time in the house playing video games and working out. Yeah, I grind on this shit too. But I recently, as I've gotten back to school and I've gone back into stores, I've realized that I just don't know where to lay my fucking gaze upon. So let me give y'all some context. Usually let me clear my freaking throat first. Usually this is how my eye contact interactions go. So I'll be walking, right, and I'll just be walking, and then I catch eye contact with somebody else. I'll look at them because I don't know what else to look at. Where am I supposed to look? That's the main problem. Where am I supposed to look? But then they'll look back at me and we'll have an intense gaze for about a millisecond. That just throws me off a little bit. I don't know what it is about it. It doesn't ruin my day or nothing, but it just throws me off a little bit. And as I'm looking away from them, I'll see a slight look back at me, like I'm still looking at them or something. Like something's wrong with me. And I try to dress like a regular person. I try to be a regular person, and if something's wrong with me, it feels like nobody's telling me or something. And you know, I keep my hair fine. I keep my face looking good. I keep my clothes looking good. I'm not trying to stand out too much. I'm not trying to look like one of those hype beast dudes, because I know that looks freaking annoying as heck, and it looks really douchey. But I try to dress in nice clothes, not like nice clothes, but like casual clothes, you know? And I'm not about to do a face reveal or nothing, but I look like a regular person. There's nothing wrong with my face. I mean, I'm obviously ugly as freak I'm probably my face is probably fucking 2, but my face looks fine. I don't have a box chin line or a gap in my teeth or a big ass nose or nothing. I look like a regular freaking person. I mean, no offense to anybody who has any of those. You look like regular people too, but you know, it kind of throws me off a little bit.
Disgusting black creatures.
Okay, I'm gonna get fucking beat up in public now. But every time someone looks at me just randomly, they look at me like I'm weird or something, like there's something wrong with me. And is this a problem for y'all too? I just don't understand, bruh. It's also the eye contact thing too, because do y'all look at people and just look at them in the eye for just a split second in public as well? Because I be doing that. I try to look past them and look at something else, but usually it's just another person past them, and then, you know, it feels weird. It feels like I'm doing something wrong. I would definitely like your feedback on that part, because, you know, I just have an issue with that. I don't know. Is that something that everybody goes through or not? It's probably just me. I'm freaking hyper focused on all of my actions all the time. I'm always so freaking embarrassed about nothing, but whatever. Enough about my life problems. Let's go to my problems with a show called Naruto. So about every year or so, I get this urge to go back and watch a few episodes of Naruto, mainly the first part and not Shippuden. And every year, I'm hit with a wave of disappointment about how unfortunate of a direction that this series went. Now, I don't have any problems with the first part of Naruto, and I think it's a damn near perfect anime, but I have problems with mostly the last third of Shippuden, and Shippuden as a whole. One day I'll make a video talking about all of the problems that I have with Naruto, and how it could have been a better series, but this is not that video, and I mainly just want to talk about the last third of Shippuden and the main 2 problems that I have with it. And those 2 main problems are the size of the world and the power cliff, I should say. I don't know how to describe it, but I'm just gonna say power cliff right now. And to make this more clear, what I consider the last third of Shippuden is the 5 Kage Summit and after. So about the size of the world, this issue is mostly because I've watched One Piece now, and I can see where Naruto has failed in its world building and how big the world is. And this is actually a reason why I don't like Avatar as much as other people do, because the world just isn't as big as I want it to be. I'm not saying that every world has to be as big as One Piece's is, but after you watch One Piece, you just, for every show's world that isn't as big as One Piece, you just feel like you're missing something when you're really not. But for Avatar, I can look past all that and see that it's a really good show with a really good story. But for Naruto, the size of the world just kind of gets in my way of enjoying it. So let's be real, the land of iron, or the land of the samurai, whatever you want to call it, in Naruto is basically like the last big village that we get to explore, and we barely even get to see it. And after the war, it just feels like that's it. Like, it feels like we have explored the entire world, and we've seen all the powers, and we've seen everybody's abilities. And yeah, we basically have, but I feel like just like One Piece, there should have been some type of mystery, something that we don't find out. But I'll elaborate more on that in a separate video. But another problem I have with the size of the world is that, why does everything take place in the Hidden Leaf Village? Like, if you really think about it, most of the most important characters in the show are from the Hidden Leaf Village, and most of our most powerful characters are from the Hidden Leaf Village. So like, it's like, why can't we get other villages to like do something? I'm not saying that everything in Naruto's history has to do with the Leaf Village, but like, most of it does. And if we go back to One Piece, we can see that not every important character comes from East Blue or the Grand Line. Well, they kind of do, but let's not talk about that. And remember how I said the most powerful people come from the Leaf Village? Well, yeah, that leads into my next point, the power cliff. Okay, so let's be real. After Naruto gets KCM1 and after Sasuke gets EMS, let's be real, they were probably like top 10 strongest people at that time. And don't get me wrong, I don't hate KCM or EMS or nothing. I freaking love all of Naruto's abilities, and he's my favorite character, mostly because of his KCM abilities and how cool they are. But my complaints mostly lie on the other characters that were actually alive at the time, and I'm not talking about Edo Tensei. My complaints mostly lie on characters like the 5 Kage and some of their subordinates like Kakashi and maybe Guy, I guess. Like, for instance, in the 5 Kage's fight with Madara, they should have been beating up Madara. All 5 of them together should have been beating up Madara until he pulls out the wood clones, and then he could say something like, oh wow, all 5 of you guys together are as strong as Hashirama, and like, then he pulls out the wood clones and then he fucks him. Like, for real, the 5 Kage in Naruto should have been the equivalent to the Gote 13 in Bleach. I'm not saying that they should be on the exact same power level as them, like, no. What I'm saying is, you know how the 13 captains were kind of fighting with Aizen? Like, a little bit. That's how the 5 Kage should have been with Madara. And not only the 5 Kage, but let me talk about Kakashi for a second. You know how Kakashi was said to know like 1,000 jutsus or something? Where was all of that? Like, where was all of that like fighting power? Where was all of that freaking power level in the war? And I'm not talking about just spamming Kamui infinite amount of times. I really don't like that stupid ass plot hole, and I think he should have used his other like 1,000 jutsus instead of just using that all the time. And I think he should have used his jutsus in a more clever way than just spamming Kamui over and over again. And it's not only Kakashi or the 5 Kage, but all of the other characters in the entire war should have gotten, they should have had more power, and they should have gotten more time to shine, instead of it just being Naruto and Sasuke kind of carrying the entire Shinobi Alliance. Like, I know that it's a shonen and our 2 main characters should be the most powerful people in all of the world, and they should be the best, most greatest people in all of the world, but like, I really don't like how that is. Even though I kind of do like the fact that Naruto and Sasuke could probably fight the entirety of Shinobi history and win, it's really dumb and it's really stupid. And don't even get me started on Boruto. Naruto and Sasuke can literally solve any problem in that series that arises. It's not even a challenge for them. But I gotta start walking to school here in a few minutes, so in summary, Naruto, I'll probably make a freaking future video on all the problems that I have with it. I'm socially inept, and Monterio is better than both of these albums. Bye!